Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. In today's video, we got the Z06 back up on the lift, and we're going to be doing a little clutch maintenance. This is going to be kind of a maintenance and modification idea that I've taken from some YouTube videos, from some forum write-ups and stuff like that, and then kind of put this together as something I'm going to do for my vehicle. So I am running the stock clutch in this. The car has about 30,000 miles. It's got a bunch of work done to it. I don't know how much power it makes, but obviously not near stock. And the clutch is always obviously a concern. Once this car start pushing 650 wheel horsepower, you're kind of at the limit of what the factory clutch can hold. But one thing that you can do is ensure that the clutch is kept clean, and all the clutch debris from the friction discs and everything is kept out of the clutch, so it can properly engage and disengage and not have slipping and excess heat buildup. And a lot of that comes from the debris generated by the clutch. So I've kind of taken the procedure that Faster Problems has drafted up, and he did a whole write-up in the Corvette forum, so I'll post that link down below. This is kind of where this is rooted from, and if you haven't seen his channel, he's done a lot of this stuff with the C6 Z06 and these modifications. So we'll just kind of dive into that quick in case you're not familiar with his kind of formulation and what he does. So a big issue with these clutches is the ability to dissipate the heat and also like vent out and remove the clutch debris and particles. So the only stuff you really have is these two ports in the back, but the problem is if you can't get air in through the front, you're not really moving that volume air through the bell housing to expel the heat. So I mean, it's great that you got the vents in the back, but if there's no airflow that can get in the front, you can't really move the air through the clutch. I mean, it's possible that the air going across through here generates a sort of Venturi effect where it creates a little bit of suction here and kind of pulls the heat and the debris out, almost like how the headers work. Those use that same type of Venturi effect where the exhaust coming, say, through this cylinder, the velocity of that traveling through generates a suction on the next one in line, and they just kind of work to scavenge that exhaust out. I don't think that probably happens. I think a lot of the problems you have with the C6 Z06 clutches is the buildup of heat, and that's why the fluid gets discolored, and that's why you have issues with sticking clutch pedals. You have issues with the masters, the slaves, with basically the clutch slipping, stuff like that. So what we are going to do today is work on number one, cleaning the clutch out. So we're going to remove these side covers here, both on this side and then around the starter there. And we're going to go in with some compressed air, some brake clean, and try and flush all the clutch debris and stuff out of there, clean it as best we could. And then I'm also going to work on opening up these covers here and see if we could get some more air generated across the clutch. So I think in his videos he generally just removes these covers entirely. I'm not saying that's a bad idea or anything. I'm just wondering if maybe we can just modify the cover, maybe with some holes, and see if we can generate more airflow but also keep any debris out of the clutch. I don't know if you really have an issue with debris. You might be totally fine just removing these and allowing the air to get in. I mean, if you look straight on, it is pretty much blocked by the filter. But at the same time, if these front tires, let's say you're coming around a corner, the tire now angles this way, it's kicking up rocks and debris, and now it could sling it into that clutch area. So I think we may go with removing these and then just modify and drilling a bunch of holes in it so we kind of act like a screen and also help improve the airflow. And then the other thing I'm going to do once we finish that all up is I'll do the standard Ranger method for renewing the clutch fluid. So we'll basically syringe out the old fluid, put new fluid in, exercise the clutch, and repeat that process till we get nice clear clutch fluid. And then we're basically going to test it out and then see how it performs. I don't think we should have any issues with this, and hopefully it'll extend the life of the clutch. If you keep the clutch clean, you're able to pull the heat out of the clutch, and you're renewing the fluid and keeping the fluid clean. It really should help extend the life of your slave, your master, your clutch, just all your components together. All right, so the driver's side comes out with a simple 10 mil wrench right there on the side. You can see the back of the flywheel, a little bit of surface rust on there. The one on the passenger side basically does like a ring around the starter. So I disconnected the battery, pulled the 2 starter bolts out, and then I'm gonna see if I could just walk the starter back far enough to slip this out of the way. I don't know if I have enough clearance. I've never had to do a starter in this car. I got a lot of questions about that because I think everybody that runs headers always has issues with heat and the starters burning up. This surprisingly is the factory starter. Never had any issues. Knock on wood that remains so. But let's see if we can avoid taking the header out. So I may reevaluate how we're going to do this if we do have to pull the header. Not that it's like a big deal, but it just, you know, puts a lot more into this maintenance item than I'm really looking to do. But let's see where we get with this. Maybe we'll have enough room. All right, we were successful. You're able to slip the starter back enough to get the plate out. Now, what's pretty crazy here, try and like put in the light where you can see it. The whole inside of this thing is all covered in clutch dust. And like you could see it all over my hands. That's not like dirt from under the car, that's clutch dust. And look inside of here where the starter is. Hopefully you guys can see that. The starter basically is like all caked up with clutch dust. So that just goes to show you, like, you know, if, look at that. See that coming off? I'm picking it with the drop light. That's all clutch dust there, all built up inside the bell housing. And obviously if that dust is interfering with the contact of the friction disc and into the flywheel, you're not going to bite. The clutch isn't going to grab. It's going to slip on this dust material, this crap right here. So we're going to now try with, well, we're going to get some brake clean in there. We're going to get some compressed air and so we can blow it out. And we should see some debris and everything come out these vents here in the back. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. So we're going to get some brake clean up in there to kind of loosen everything up. You can see all the black stuff coming out. And then we're gonna follow that up with some compressed air. And let's see what this does. Tough to get it captured on camera, I've noticed, looking back at it, but there's a bunch of dust just like blowing out everywhere. You can see it in the light there when it reflects, I don't know, but there's a lot of crap blowing out. And here's our finished product. Just ended up running a bunch of 1/4-inch holes through it, cleaned everything out. So hopefully that will help increase the airflow. I think that will make a good improvement over this being totally blanked off, but also not totally open. So we'll put this back in and get the car off the lift. All right, guys, we pulled the car outside the shop. We're just gonna do the clutch fluid as the last thing here. So as you can see, it's already discolored with very few mileage on it. You can see it's like a dark brown color. I'm gonna syringe it out, put it in this clear cup so you can see it. We'll clean this boot off, we'll replace the fluid, cycle a couple times with the clutch pedal and get this basically to clear up, and then we'll be done with the fluid change. All right, so we did, this is what came out. So you can see it's a nice like caramel, dark colored, definitely not clear like what the new fluid is. And then I just replaced it, did 20 pumps, and it's kind of starting to clear up, but it's still cloudy, so I'll probably do this 1 or 2 more times. And make sure once you get it sucked out, you reach in there with a rag and give this a little wipe. You can see there's actually like sediment down there. So you see on the end of that, that's actually like particles from the friction disc on the clutch. So you want to make sure you get all the crap out of the system as best you can anyway. And then we'll refill using the Prestone .4 synthetic brake fluid. Been running this for a while. I mean, seems to work okay, I guess. I'd have to maybe try something different and see if it takes longer to get discolored, but I think as long as it's a .4 fluid, it should be fine. I'm more curious to see if we're going to have better response and the fluid's going to stay cleaner longer now that we're hopefully able to push more airflow across the clutch and keep it cooler. So that will be kind of telltale there. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this one. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope this video helped you out with your maintenance on your Corvette. And now we're going to take it for a drive, so we'll see you on the next one.